you know, when the introduction comes and guys go out there, yeah, you'll definitely be nervous just because it's something, you know, you always dreamed about.
How you doing, old man? Huh?
This game means a lot to me. Our league is about you guys. And I think so many people look up to you and the way you play. I would just hope that we go out on the court and try to kick there, but try to do it play in the right way. Another day to be great, right? Another day to be great. 1, 2, 3, play hard. 1, 2, 3.
Play hard. How you feel, man? You nervous? Good. By yourself. Oh, that's going up. I know it. Oh. You pushing the point? Oh. Okay. All right. Uh-oh. Woo! That hurt. Gotta love this. I love it. You can't beat it, baby. Oh, man. I'll run this big fool. Look and see where.
All right, Latrell Sprewell, Vince Carter, both obviously excited about tonight's get-together. Just a couple of guys getting together to talk basketball prior to the All-Star game. Let's go over to Jim Gray with the West coach, Rick Alleman.
Yeah, it's going to be hard, but I'm going to try to get everybody in the first half and then go from there.
I guess if you had this group all the time, no coach would ever lose their job. Is it an easy game to coach?
It's an easy game. We looked down the bench, see the players we have. It's not too hard to substitute.
All right, Rick, we'll check in with you throughout the night. Good luck. All right, let's go down to Lewis Johnson.
All right, thanks a lot. I'm with Grant Hill, and it's so odd to see you standing here on crutches. It must be disappointing. Talk about how tough it is to watch, Grant.
I mean, it's been tough. It's been a tough year, but actually being here is kind of therapeutic, hanging out with the guys, and this incentivized me to get healthy and get back out here next year.
And have been looking forward to playing in an All-Star game at his hometown, but that season-ending ankle surgery has put him on the sidelines. The officials, Dan Crawford working his second All-Star game, Ed F. Rush, Don Vaden working in their first. Doug, the East overall has the edge 31-18. Last season in Oakland, West beat the East 137-126. The East had won the previous 3 games.
Marv, the thing I love so much about this is about a week before the All-Star game, you'll always hear guys posturing about, I'm tired, I could use the rest, I really don't want to go there. And then you see these guys get here and the smile on their face, they get in that locker room and the adrenaline rush of coming out and performing against the best players in the NBA. It's a high you can't even explain, and it's fun to see these guys. This is going to be fun for them.
Last year, Tim Duncan and Shaquille O'Neal shared MVP honors. Tim Duncan once again in the starting lineup for the West.
How about that starting front like Garnett, Duncan, and Weber for the West? You don't even have Shaq out there. You see Rasheed Wallace, McDyess. The list goes on that front line.
And here's Allen Iverson. Iverson to the fadeaway. And here's Kobe Bryant. Kobe bothered by the right shoulder, the right hip injuries. Remained an extra day in Los Angeles to receive treatment. Bryant rejected by McGrady.
I really believe that when Tracy McGrady gets Grant Hill back, you're going to see his level of defense go up and up and up. Right now, he has to do so much for this team offensively that sometimes on the defensive end, Marv, you see him slide a little bit. Not today. You'll see him play tough defense.
Garnett, and that is the first field goal of the night. Chris Webber. And here comes Iverson in the open floor. Iverson, nice feed. Oh, it's rejected. He tried to set up McGrady, but Duncan stripped him.
Well, when he brought that ball back, Duncan was waiting as he exposed it. This is exactly what the East wants to do, run. But remember, we talked that are open. These big men, absolutely, your pride comes out. All the East has heard is how big these guys are from the West. They're saying, we're going to lock into these guys, not let them put it on the floor.
Duncan off the backdoor setup from Bryant.
Well, it's really good to see him healthy once again, Marv. He is starting now to really put San Antonio in a position where people are talking about possibly getting back to that NBA championship level again.
Our kid lays it up for Bryant. And Kobe not able to put it down. Bryant went behind the back, and Weber was hit. Fouled on the reach-in. Foul committed by Carter. Doug, you took part in 4 All-Star games, one memorable one.
It was actually his
gracious of you.
Well, actually, you talk about Philly-Boston rivalry there too. In the days when that was a very, very heated rivalry, and Mark John was always one of my favorite players, and to have the opportunity to do that.
Anthony Mason, who's been the MVP of the Miami Heat. Allen Iverson. Crowd rooting so hard for Iverson to get going. Kidd. Oh, beautifully done by Jason Kidd.
Actually, very good defense, and he was so good he was able to recover.
He did last year. He's averaging 10 assists per game.
You see Anthony Mason with the good hands there, knocks that ball loose, but Jason Kidd, great concentration and recovery.
Breaking for the basket. Duncan got the step, able to beat Davis.
In the league already about 5 years, you start to get the wear and tear.
And finally, the East is on the board. Antonio Davis.
You don't play out of character, but if a good play is there, try to make it. But see, there's a nice little bounce pass, not an alley-oop, not in traffic. Those are the plays you want to make when you try to get sensational.
To Mason. And Weber controls. One-time Washington Bullet, Chris Weber puts it up for Kevin Garnett.
Simple play, get the ball to Chris Weber in the middle, let him throw a little alley-oop to Kevin Garnett.
Of the first, Mason. Iverson with the open shot. And put home by Carter. Now, Vince Carter, in recent weeks, bothered by what is called jumper's knee with Washington. So, the West adding to the lead. Kobe Bryant with his first field goal. Doug, for Chris Weber, it's a return to Washington where he's had some of his best, some of his worst days.
I'm sure it's sort of a bittersweet moment as we see Iverson with a fadeaway. You know, Chris Weber, in leaving Washington, it was sort of a...
Carter. Bryant for Kidd, intercepted by Iverson. 3-on-2, Iverson to the reverse.
Little pass to himself in the air. Allen Iverson thrilling the home crowd here as he went to Georgetown. Another steal. Game getting very sloppy. Weber steals it back. And then the big block by Davis. Little play-by-play here, Marv. Things are going so fast.
And then Kobe Bryant able to drill it.
The greatness of the NBA game is in the open court, and this is what people love to see, the spectacular athletes, their ability to get in that lane, hang in the air. You see the self-pass, the ball off the glass, kisses it in. Great play there by Allen Iverson.
Last season, Allen Iverson beginning to heat up. He now has 6 points.
Well, we've seen 2 spectacular plays by Allen Iverson already, playing off the ball. Look at the shot. Actually, his body is behind the backboard. He takes it over to his right hand, all in one motion.
The 3-guard alignment. Here's Duncan. Weber keeping it alive. Weber stopped by Mutombo. Gary Payton, who just checked in, able to recover. And here's Weber. Chris Weber with the reverse. So Weber with 5 points.
The West just playing volleyball on the backboard before Weber got one to go.
How about this matchup? Chris Weber defending on Allen Houston, who was able to hit the 3-pointer. Allen Houston did not have the touch, unfortunately, last night on the nice play. Finley comes up short. Michael Finley of the Dallas Mavericks with his first field goal.
How about the passing between the big men? Weber to Duncan to Rasheed, Funny to Finley on the cut. Great passing.
Stephon Marbury, who is so excited to be here, his first ever NBA All-Star game, and is able to hit. Antonio McDyess. So Larry Brown looking for the mismatches in his favor by going with the 3-guard setup, and Ray Allen with his first field goal. So it's a 26-17 Western Conference lead.
Well, those are the shots they're going to have to make because they're not going to be able to post up against the West. And David Robinson has really added that to his game as he's gotten older.
And he said, God, thank you. Not referring to Robin. Marbury turns it over. Payton with the pass to McDyess, finding Robinson.
You know, Antonio McDyess is a guy who I think probably grew as much from his Olympic experience last summer as anybody on that team. He has come back, Mark, more confident. He's a guy you can go to at the end of the game. His whole game is picked up, I think, just by being on that team this summer.
Final seconds of the quarter. Mutombo on the recovery, but out of bounds. And Antonio McDyce's Denver Nuggets have turned it dramatically since that early season turmoil. Final seconds of the first quarter. Here is McDyce. Fast start by the West. At one point, they were up 11-0. And after one here in Washington, it's the West 30 and the East 17. You're watching the 50th NBA All-Star Game on NBC. Also, create your own All-Star highlight reel from today's game or past All-Star games on what is entitled My Highlights. That's NBA.com. Ray Allen on a pull-up, and Ray Allen has had the touch.
Well, he really has that nice pull-up jumper. He can shoot the three, but he has the ability to put that ball on the floor. He has such great legs. He can stop and explode into that little medium-range jump shot. Up into his jump shot. That's a nice move.
Been a nice couple of days for Ray. Michael Finley puts it down. Last night, Ray Allen won the shootout. So pulled back his game in recent years, although had to pick it up again last season when Tim Duncan was hit by injuries. Here's Finley.
And Michael Finley out of Proviso East High School in Chicago. I watched him grow up.
It's defending on Allen Houston. Ray Allen for three.
And you talk about the great show that Ray Allen put on last night, Marv.
Getting the respect the last couple of years. Robinson strip. And here comes Allen. Marbury puts it up for Allen.
There's another guy who this summer in the Olympics was sensational.
37-26, the West with the lead. Here's Finley. Allen off the break, whipping by Wallace.
Ray Allen has given his team a huge lift as they're climbing back into this game.
Gary Payton of the Seattle Sonics. Rasheed Wallace. Rasheed Wallace, who has become the go-to guy.
The one thing you don't do is you don't challenge Mutombo. Look at McDyce. Looks like he's got a jumper. Mutombo said, bring that in here. He said, no. I think I'll kick it out for a jumper. And what did Kobe Bryant have to say about this?
They won't go in there with Mount Mutombo, huh? Man, I'm climbing Mount Mutombo today. Nobody want to go in.
Checked in for the West. So Payton and Finley in the backcourt. Malone, Divac, and Wallace up front. Here's Malone. Way off. Mutombo with the rebound. Glenn Big Dog Robinson of the Bucks. Robinson off the spin. Robinson able to hit. And it's 39-30.
One of the best mid-range shooters in the NBA.
Finley, Michael Finley off the turn. He has 10 points. Houston and Stackhouse now in the backcourt. Houston taking it to the basket. That is not a shot out of the usual Allen Houston arsenal.
You don't think Jeff would like that, Van Gundy?
Vlade Divac, who was a late addition to the Western Conference squad to replace the conversation between Kobe Bryant and Kevin Garnett. We're going back to the record books. That's Jerry Stackhouse is set up by Latrell Sprewell, but coming up on 5.5 remaining in the first half. Allen Houston now working with his New York Knicks teammate Latrell Sprewell. Beautiful look-away pass from Houston to Davis. Allen Houston
with a great little look-away pass, and Antonio Davis finally shakes loose underneath the basket to get a dunk. Antonio Davis was the fill-in for Theo Radliff, who has a fractured wrist, will be out 4 to 6 weeks, so it's a tough break for Philly, once again dealing with injuries as Vince Carter with his highlight film. That's something they wanted to see last night, and Vince said he'll show it today.
Kobe Bryant being played by Anthony Mason. And here's Kobe. So Kobe Bryant with 7 points. And here's Latrell Sprewell, who...
Games he talked about how it helped his game, but Vince Carter gets baseline and big guys don't get over there soon enough. Kobe said, where is my help? And they go, we're not helping you on this. And his partner in Shaq, who normally guards the basket. You watch his reaction. He throws Gary Payton back, and he says, "Whoa, that's nasty."
Doug, that would have won the slam dunk
Yes, it
contest
would have.
last night.
Somewhere where they can sit down. It's going to be a conversation. It's not going to be in passing, 5 or 10 minutes. It's going to be something they can sit down and talk about. And Latrell Sprewell knows in his heart that regardless of all the redemption and all that he's got in New York City, that you can never do something like that. And he's learned from it, and he's moving forward. And you know what? PJ has handled it like a real champ, too.
West up by 8. They've led by as many as 16. Nice pass from Bryant. Chris Webber does the rest. 7 points for the Sacramento King. Chris Webber averaging 23 points a game. Went through that wicked 7-game slump. He's worked his way out of it. Latrell Sprewell with his first field goal. 8-point West lead. Here's Bryant. 11-0 at the start. They trailed by as many as 16. Davis. Antonio Davis with his third field goal. He has 6 points. It's now.
I'm still active. Marv?
All right, thank you, Jim. Coming up at halftime as Carter is able to hit and draws the foul. Ahmad will be joined on the set by Kevin Johnson. PJ Carlesimo as the NBA honors the All-Star Game most valuable players of the past 50 years, and Harry Connick Jr. will perform. Doug, Ahmad did request to sit in with Harry for one of the sets. 2:20 remaining in the first half, and the West lead is now down to 5. Kobe Bryant beginning to heat up. He has 9 points. Kobe and Kevin Garnett raising the point as we were listening in on. All right, here's Carter. Put down by Antonio Davis. Here's Kidd pushing it. Webber. Mason with the rebound, eluding Garnett and Duncan, and then delivers. Carter with the windmill.
I think that jumper's knee is feeling better. Look at Shaq. I think he's happy that he's sitting over there watching right now. This is what people want to see. The great pass from Anthony Mason. Jason Kidd said, I'm not getting near this. Vince Carter makes it look so easy.
51-48, the East within 3. A minute left in the half. Garnett served up by Webber.
Now these are big guys passing to each other. That's not a point guard making that play. Those are big guys.
With the step, and that's a goaltend. The basket will count and a foul. In Oakland, the Golden State Warriors, the host team of the West, beat the East 137-126. The East had won the previous 3 contests. Kevin Garnett will throw in. Kidd got the step. Here's Duncan. He blew the layup. Garnett keeps it alive. Here's Kidd for 3. Yes.
But if you can't make the layup, step out and shoot the 3. Jason Kidd, normally not a good 3-point shooter, but it's worked very hard to add that aspect of his game.
West leading by 6. The pass work much more fluid by the East here in the second quarter. Carter tried to change direction. Broken up by Davis. Recovered by Webber. Went behind the back. Kidd lays it home for Duncan. A spectacular pass play by the West. Final seconds of the half. Carter's pass stolen. Here's Kidd from center court. Yes! Jason Kidd at the buzzer to end the first half.
What a sensational run by the West to end this half, Mark. The 3 from the corner by Kidd, the sensational passing and the dunk followed up by the shot at the end of the half. A little 8-0 spurt here that pushes it back out to an 11-point lead. But here's Jason Kidd recognizing the clock. He's behind the half-court line, lets it go. Kobe looks like he's going to touch it. He lets it go, lets it know it's a 3-point play, 3-point shot. But Jason Kidd, back-to-back 3s, the great passing, and once again they lead by 11, Marv.
And the West concludes with an 8-0 run to finish out the half. And Jason Kidd, who concluded in spectacular fashion, scored 6 of those 8 points. Let's go to Jim and Jason Kidd.
Now, I'm watching you with this spectacular dunk and thinking back to last night. Are you sure you couldn't have been in that dunk contest?
I don't know. I mean, I feel good for the game. You know, you get warm, but, you know, it's a chance I didn't want to take, but next year.
How much fun is it to play in an all-star game like this, man?
I have a great time. A lot of these guys I admire as players, and I come out here to play with them. It's just the best feeling.
All right. I know you want to get to the locker room. Thanks a lot. Marv.
All right, thanks, Lewis. The high point man, Tim Duncan, 12 points. Michael Finley with 10. Ray Allen leading the East with 11. Stay with us for Ahmad, Kevin, and PJ. Net zero at the half. Coming up, you're watching the NBA on NBC.
Way to go, guys. Be healthy and everybody have a great second half. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back to the MCI Center. This is the first NBA All-Star game played in Washington, D.C. It's been played in Baltimore. It was back in 1969 and Landover, Maryland in 1980. And the West with a 61-50 lead on the East. Rick Adelman, head coach of the West from the Sacramento Kings. Second All-Star appearance as a head coach. Handled the West squad while with Portland in 1991. This West team incidentally lost to the East by 2 points.
Well, Marv, when you talk about these two coaches, think about the jobs they've done. Larry Brown goes into Philly. That franchise was in disarray. And Pat Croce hires him. He comes in. He and Billy King, they start putting the pieces together of that team. And Larry Brown has got the kind of guys there that he wants to coach. They're playing defense. They're playing together. They know that Iverson is the star. And if they can get healthy, they're going to be a tough out in the Eastern Conference. And Rick Adelman and Jeff Petrie, the job they have done in Sacramento putting that team together, these guys deserve a lot of credit.
And Larry Brown, as Kobe Bryant opens up by hitting the jumper. Larry coaching in his 5th All-Star game, coaching the ABA All-Star game 3 times, so leads the NBA in minutes played. And then Glenn Robinson on the follow.
Glenn Robinson playing as a power forward right now along that front line with Mutombo.
Kevin Garnett of the red-hot Minnesota Timberwolves. How about the T-Wolves?
Well,
11 straight wins.
Boy, Flip Saunders, you've got to talk about him as possible coach of the year. Terrell Brandon, the job he's done as Glenn Robinson makes a little baseline jumper. But all the things that Minnesota franchise has gone through with Joe Smith.
Kidd lost it. Iverson, 3-on-1. Iverson changed his mind. And back comes Duncan. The look away from Kidd to set it up. Won't count, foul call before the shot attempt. It's on Mutombo.
The great hands of Chris Webber. You know, Marv, you and I have spoken so often. I said, you know, if you could put an ideal player together, you know, vision, eyes, hands, and all those kind of things, Chris Webber, to me, would be the guy with the hands. Look at him, fake the pass, bring it back around and find Kobe. The foul was committed, so they'll get it sideline out of bounds, but he is a terrific passer.
Bryant trying to work off the pick. Bryant with the spin for Garnett. And another rebound for Mutombo. That's number 10.
And once again, changed the shot around the basket.
Here comes Kidd. Oh, Webber from Garnett.
A little sleight of hand there. Well, so much conversation about the Lakers in the first half of the season. They have 16 losses. That's one more than they had the entire last year. But, you know, if you look at their team, Marv, you expect them, I expect them to play much better in the second half of the year. I think Shaq is going to come back better, and I think you're going to expect this guy, Kobe, to be better. And with all that's been going on out there in the West, nobody's created any defenders than they were the early part of this year. Last year, both all-league defenders. Here's Kobe Bryant in the open floor, looking behind him to see what's coming. He sees Kevin Garnett with a spectacular finish.
On Webber. Webber beats him off the dribble, but Mutombo is there to rescue. Here comes Sprewell. Iverson. Allen Iverson taking it to the basket. Now the West on the transition try to catch the East, but they do get back. Open shot for Kidd. And Jason Kidd hits from downtown. He concluded matters at the half with a 3. Much nationwide negative publicity.
Well, Marv, I live in Arizona, and I've watched Jason Kidd and his wife, and I've watched the way they've handled the situation, and he stepped forward, and he says, look, I was wrong. I embarrassed myself, my family, my team. My wife and I are going to work through this. We're going to be better for it. And he stepped forward, and he's been a man. And you know what? That's what you have to do. And I applaud him for that. And he knows he did wrong, and he's working on it to get it better, he and his family.
14-point lead for the West, and they're adding to it. 11 points for Weber. Kidd has hit a couple from downtown. Kidd looking to back Iverson. Weber for three. Duncan. Tim Duncan has 14.
Now that ball I don't think hit the rim, and they reset the shot clock. I think that's what Larry Brown is talking to Danny Crawford about it right now. It's why did they get a new shot clock?
Iverson. And it's put home by Mutombo.
How about Allen Iverson? This guy takes a beating during the course of a game. He challenged big guys. How often do you see him? And I said, Michael, now remember, the winners get $12,000, the losers $6,000. He said, oh, okay. In about 5 minutes, the game was even. So I knew which button to push, Marv.
What was your pregame talk like? Sprewell got the step, and the West now leads 77. Goes right at him. Tried the left hand. Garnett for Bryant.
Now remember, about 2 minutes ago, Kobe gave one up to the backboard to Garnett. It's like, back at you here. It's my turn to give you the pass. Well, I'm taking you outside as the spectacular finish by Kobe Bryant. There's still something in those legs.
Garnett. A lot of mismatches out there. Kevin Garnett posting up on Allen Houston. And it's Garnett defending on Houston. Goes to the pullback move. He loves that shot. And certainly enjoyed hitting against Kevin Garnett.
Healthy going into the playoffs.
The West shooting 47% for the night. The East just under 40, and the West leading by 15. Marbury.
Oh, no!
Pass to himself. He deflected it off Divac, who had turned his head. It's a good idea.
Bloody said, oh, okay, I'll get you back. I thought he was trying to shoot that. I didn't know he was passing it to himself.
A little schoolyard play by Stephon Marbury, and now coughed it up. Divac off the steal. Divac working on Allen, finding Finley. Here's McDyess. Antonio McDyess of the Denver Nuggets.
The West just comes in. Look at the power. Look at the size of those players, Mark. We talked about it in our open. I mean, they just come in and they just keep reloading with either Olympians or, guys who've been at all pros. I don't know if I've ever seen a team so deep along the front line.
And this is without Shaquille O'Neal. Oh, McDyess stopped from behind. Ray Allen with the block. McDyess couldn't believe it.
Olympic teammate Ray Allen says, don't cock that thing back and let me get a peek.
Wallace. Marbury ahead of the field. Well, that is unusual. Little layup by Stephon.
At Utah, at Portland, they could go from first in the West to fifth, as McDyess with the finish, but they could go from first to fifth in 5 games.
Yes, it's been a grueling road trip for the Kings, who have lost 3 in a row. Here's another look at that most unique maneuver by Stephon Marbury. I don't know if he actually made contact with Divac. All right, we'll be back after these words from your local station. There's the Turkish edition of Doug Collins right there. Fourth quarter is underway, and the West up by 19 points. Here's Marbury for 3. Well, they say a 2-down. Bates said he had the foot on the line.
Mutombo stacca adesso, ma chi tira? Karen, la bomba, non va. Mutombo.
Goaltending. They should have called that goaltending. Italian.
You know what? I don't think we have a future in broadcasting. I think we just
Son Soto, Moroto, Son Toto.
we need to send it back to Doug and Marv, man. We don't. for you to stick to on the court.
Look at Kenny.
All right, guys. Well, the good news is they may not be speaking the same language, but they're communicating very well. Guys, good luck in the second half of the season.
And to Kevin Mutombo. Nice dish. Finley can't hit. Finley again. That time he was able to beat Mutombo.
Isn't it amazing? The minute Dikembe comes into the game, it's like you just cannot get around the basket.
Can't afford the medications, at the same time to educate doctors and to try to find a cure for the disease.
Any chance you think you'll get back on the court?
Most of the summer when he was over playing in the Olympics, and I had no idea at all that he was sick, and you couldn't see it in the way he played or the way he practiced, the way he came to do things every day. But I will tell you this, and being around him most of the summer, great guy, and we all wish him well and get back out as soon as possible.
Yes. Here's Allen able to finish in the East in the midst of a run. So they cut it down to 14 with 7:45. So Finley just took a shot from Allen Iverson. Both shaken up. Here's Stackhouse. Jerry Stackhouse of the Detroit Pistons, averaging 29 a game. It's an 8 o'clock Eastern start. So it's now an 11-1 run off the bucket by Carter. 13 points for Carter. 96-85. The West with the lead. Coming up on 6 minutes to go in the fourth. Robinson. David Robinson has 8 points.
Well, just to follow up on that King Jazz game, Karl Malone went to Rick Adelman. He says, Coach, he said, you don't have to play me anymore the rest of the day. Let these younger guys play. They play each other the first game out, so Rick Adelman said, fine. So Karl Malone will not play anymore today.
Finley. Oh, put home by McDice. Here's Karl Malone, the NBA's greatest power forward of all time. Tonight, how about Dikembe Mutombo? 19 rebounds in 23 minutes. Here's Kidd. And make it rebound number 20. The last player with 20 rebounds in an All-Star game. Charles Barkley with 21 in 1991. 100-93. Kobe posting on Marbury. Here comes Iverson. Bryant. It's only a 7-point game with 4.5 to go. Iverson, does he get the continuation? Yes, he does. It counts, and the foul, and it's down to a 5-point West lead.
I love this, the fact that it got down to this point in the game, 5 minutes to go. The game is in the balance. You're going to see the competitive nature of every one of these players now surface. Allen Iverson with the great drive to finish, the opportunity now for a three-point play, which he gets. It's now a 4-point game. And Marv, the difference is, after 15 turnovers in the first half, the East have only 5 here in the second. That's why they're back in this game.
It's a 22-5 run by the East. What a job by Dikembe Mutombo. Put him on the MVP candidate list. With the shot clock running down with no problem at all, no pressure at all from you see Duncan, 14 and 12. Mutombo, 21 rebounds. The all-time All-Star game record, most rebounds in a single game. Here's the double on Bryant. Mutombo altered that shot. Here comes Iverson. Kidd is back. Iverson. Rebound McGrady. And the game is tied at 100. And this crowd is now very much into it. Garnett, yes, the West by 2.
See, it's going to be very difficult for them to go to Duncan because he's being played by Mutombo, so they could go to Garnett, who's being played by McGrady, or maybe Weber, who's being played by Carter.
Iverson for 3. Allen Iverson will often have bad shooting games, but he'll come up and hit the big shots. He hit a big one here. The East up by 1. It's the first time they've led. Kidd for 3. Kidd able to keep it alive. 2:25 remaining on the fourth. Bryant. Kobe able to recover. Oh, that's a dangerous pass. Duncan is on it, though. Here's Weber. Yes.
Now 4 possessions. What happened, Marv, on that situation? The East were leaking out to try to run. You've got to first get the rebound. Mutombo's telling his teammates, somebody's got to help me in here.
West is led by as many as 21. Nice pass. Carter trying to get it back. Here comes Kidd. Iverson with the steal, but he stepped out of bounds. Allen Iverson with 13 of his 23 points in the fourth quarter.
You can see why Larry Brown loves this guy. Watch him, comes from nowhere, tries to tightrope along that sideline. And Marv, you said it so perfectly a while ago as he steps out of bounds. The other night in the Garden, he was having a horrible shooting night, hit I think 2 or 3 shots late to win that game. He will keep attacking you.
In that game, he hit 3 straight from downtown. Carter with the steal. Iverson on the run. Iverson gets it off, draws the foul.
Well, the East has heard all year long the West is better. The West is deeper. The West has got all the big players. You know what? Right now, it's
Iverson, 82% free throw shooter. So the East takes a 1-point lead. A minute 35 remaining in the fourth quarter. Bryant being chased. Bryant able to hit. Marbury chased him down.
Well, great players make great plays. Kobe Bryant going off the screen of Tim Duncan pulls up, and he knows he cannot get to the basket because there is Mount Mutombo. He's been there the entire fourth period, and that little medium-range jump shot gives his team once again a 1-point lead.
Oh, let's go, West. They're getting too close. Let's go. They're getting too close. Let's go. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do next time. But hey, everybody got to block out. Second shots are what hurts. We got this far, man. Let's win this thing. Let's go, baby. Let's go. I'm going to win it right here.
Kevin Garnett's 6'11" with that long reach, so he's not going to get any easy shots.
Bryant, yes! Kobe Bryant with 2 clutch buckets. He now has 17. The West leads by 3. Marbury for 3, yes! And he's tied the game at 1:08.
And Kobe Bryant wants the ball once again. He's made the last 2 baskets. They double him and force him to give it up. Jason Kidd might have to shoot the ball here as Iverson is just leaving him wide open.
Bryant.
Oh, that is unbelievable. Mutombo ran out at him. 3 unbelievable shots in a row here by Kobe Bryant.
A stirring finish to this 50th NBA All-Star game. The West by 2. Marbury for 3 again. Stephon Marbury has given the East a 1-point lead. 25 seconds to go. In the fourth quarter, Kobe Bryant has scored the last 6 points for the West. Here's the double on Kobe.
They have a foul to give. The East does. So if they let this wind down, they can take a foul.
3-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. There's the foul given by Marbury.
What sensational shooting, clutch shooting. Kobe Bryant with the outside jump shot. Marbury comes back and one-ups him with the 3. This once again ties the game. And Kobe again with another answer. This time, Mutombo comes flying at him, gets a hand up. He really can't even see the basket, and again knocks it down. And Marbury comes back, spectacular shooting. Stephon Marbury steps back behind the 3, buries another one. The East by 1, 10.9 seconds remaining.
Well, still 10 and 9/10 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter, but here are the results of the NBA.com polling for most valuable player. We were talking about guys from the West earlier, but the East turning it around, coming back from a 21-point deficit. So Allen Iverson leading the way. How about Stephon Marbury with the clutch shooting down the stretch, along with Kobe Bryant?
Well, now with Jason Kidd staying on the floor, it'll be interesting to see if Iverson runs off of him, goes to Kobe, forces Kobe to pass, and maybe make Jason Kidd take the shot.
All right, here's Kidd. The East up by 1. Down to 5. Marbury guarding Bryant. Down to 3. Marbury trying to get to Bryant. Duncan came up short, and it's over. The East comes from 21 down to defeat the West. They outscore the West 41-21 in the fourth quarter.
Marv, that's one of the best All-Star games I've ever seen. Just the big plays, getting back in the game. And you know what? Mutombo Probably not going to get the MVP, but he gave his team a chance to win, and for Marbury and Iverson to shine at the end of that game and give them a chance to win this basketball game. Look who changed the shot, Mutombo, and then here's Vince Carter on the rotation coming over, getting a piece of Duncan's shot. And the East is very, very excited. Down 21, they come back and get the win.
Here's the last opportunity by Duncan. Weber had a crack at it, not able to hit on the reverse. Dikembe Mutombo finished in his 28 minutes with 22 rebounds, 3 blocked shots.
Of the world's greatest players here tonight, and you are the star of stars. That's got to feel extra special, especially being home.
It's definitely special. Where's my coach? Coach Brown. Is he around? This is a tribute to Coach Brown, my teammates, my family, my friends.
And rises in the East, sets in the West. Yeah, East, go! East, go! Oh my God! Thank you.